Yo, 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 what is up, YouTube? BK Brad Kellner. Today is Wednesday, January 26th, 2022. We are 1 week away from National Signing Day 2 in college football. What used to be Christmas for recruiting fans now kind of feels like a little bit of a footnote due to the invention of the early signing period that takes place in December. So, yeah, National Signing Day 2, not as big of a deal now as it used to be, but there are still plenty of talented unsigned recruits out there, and Texas is in the mix for a couple of them. So we'll talk about them in today's video and kind of set the table for where things stand for the Longhorns 7 days away from National Signing Day 2, which, of course, every year is the first Wednesday of the month of February. Please like this video if you'd be so kind. Please subscribe to this channel if you haven't yet. We talk all things Texas Longhorn sports on this channel. We also talk Houston sports as well. So if you're a fan of one or both of those things, please subscribe to this channel. I really do appreciate it. And tap that notification bell as well so you are always informed whenever I release new content. So the biggest fish, literally and figuratively, still out there for Texas is Davon Campbell, the five-star offensive lineman from Arlington Bowie. He is the 9th-ranked player in the country on the 24/7 Sports Composite rankings. Not the 9th-ranked offensive lineman, not the 9th-ranked interior offensive lineman. No, the 9th-ranked overall player in the country for the class of 2022. Texas has been in good standing with Davon Campbell for a number of months now. A lot of optimism that next week he will put pen to paper and sign with the University of Texas. Davon Campbell is a stud, more of an interior guy. You know, some websites will have him listed as a tackle. For me personally, and some of the guys that I trust in this business that I've talked to, they feel like he's better suited to be more of a guard than a tackle at the next level. But the guy's a mauler. The guy's an absolute beast, and he bullies people on the offensive line. Listed at 6'3", I think they might be reaching a little bit with 6'3". I think he's a little bit shorter than that, but well over 300 pounds. I just don't think he has the length or the frame to be a tackle at the next level. I could be wrong, but my guess is he projects to be a guard in college football, and you need guards too. And this guy would be a massive get for Texas. Once again, a top 10 player in the country for the class of 2022. One of, if not the top unsigned players in all of football. In Texas, once again, in a very good standing with Davon Campbell. He performed really well at the Under Armour All-American Bowl a couple of weeks ago in San Antonio. Did great in the practices, looked really good in the game as well, and his stock continues to rise. An interesting little nugget regarding Davon Campbell. I mentioned it. National Signing Day is a week away, Wednesday, February 2nd. There's a thought that Davon Campbell is not going to sign on February 2nd. Like, there are rumors out there that say he's going to wait until February 3rd before he puts pen to paper and makes his ultimate decision. And that's fine. Like, national signing period goes until April 1st. So everybody calls it National Signing Day because the vast majority of players will sign on that day. But technically, Davon Campbell doesn't have to make a decision until April 1st. So he could really drag his thing out. I don't think it's going to take that long. But once again, rumors out there that it might not be next Wednesday for Davon Campbell. It might be next Thursday, February 3rd, instead of February 2nd. So, like, the biggest piece of news that Texas fans are hoping to get for National Signing Day 2 might not actually happen on National Signing Day 2. Now, if he ultimately commits and signs with Texas, I don't think people care when it happens. They just want it to happen. And right now, this feels like a two-horse race for Davon Campbell. It feels like a Texas-Oklahoma battle for the five-star offensive lineman. He did take a visit to USC a couple of times. I think he visited before Lincoln Riley took the job. I think he has visited since Lincoln Riley took the job out there. But from the people I've talked to and from what I've read, this feels like a two-horse race. It feels like a Red River shootout battle between the Longhorns and the Sooners. And apparently Oklahoma's still in decent standing despite Lincoln Riley leaving and Brent Venables coming in. So I still feel like Texas is the play. I think a lot of people are confident that ultimately Texas will be the play for Davon Campbell. And we'll see when it does go down, whether it's next Wednesday, next Thursday, maybe sometime after that. But we might have to wait a little longer than expected and desired to land Davon Campbell. But once again, if you get him, who cares, right? This offensive line class is already really freaking good. Kelvin Banks, the biggest name, the highest rated recruit currently signed with Texas. I think it was Rivals actually dropped Banks from a 5-star to a 4-star. I thought that was pretty interesting. The composite rankings still have him as a 5-star, a top 30 player, I believe, in the country. Still a massive get for Texas either way. I thought, though, when guys committed to Texas, they got bumped up on the recruiting trail. I thought they got more stars when they committed to Texas, right? They got to make Texas look good. That's how this works, isn't it? That's what I was told. But apparently Kelvin Banks, and I think it's Rivals' eyes, not a 5-star anymore. I found that interesting, but still excited about him. Neto Omozolo, another offensive lineman, a high 4-star kid who's already signed. Malik Ogbo, Cole Hudson, Cam Williams, Connor Robertson. You got some dudes in this offensive line class. Quantity and quality for Texas at a much needed position. And look, you guys, if you followed this channel, if you followed my radio career, you know the emphasis I put on the lines of scrimmage. You can't win at this level without good offensive and defensive line play. Offensive line play has been a problem for Texas for a number of years. Hopefully this class can be the class that turns things around. I don't know what to expect from them in 2022 because expecting big things from true freshmen in today's college football scares the hell out of me. Especially when we're talking about guys on the line of scrimmage who need to put on weight and get accustomed to the college level. But at some point down the road, this offensive line class has a chance to be the offensive line class that helped Texas really, really turn things around. So once again, quantity is there, quality is there. The cherry on top would be Davon Campbell ultimately signing with Texas next week. Outside of Campbell, guys, I'm not sure how much other action there's going to be for Texas next week. Right now, the Longhorns have 27 signees. That's not including the 4 transfers. 28 commitments for UT. Champ Lewis, Ronald Lewis is his name. He goes by Champ. He's still technically committed to Texas. I don't think he's going to sign with Texas next week. TCU has a lot of momentum. I think the belief is that at some point between now and then, hell, maybe it'll happen next Wednesday. Champ Lewis is going to decommit from Texas, commit to TCU, and ultimately sign with the Horned Frog. So it feels like he will end up there. And outside of that, I don't know if there's going to be a lot of action for the Longhorns next Wednesday. And once again, if Davon Campbell doesn't sign next Wednesday, it might be an empty day for Texas. Harold Perkins is a guy that a lot of people have asked me about. A lot of people are talking about Harold Perkins across the country, the 5-star linebacker from Cypress. I believe Cy Park is where he plays his high school ball or played his high school ball. He committed to A&M at the Under Armour All-America game a couple of weeks ago, and then he decommitted from A&M last week. This is a guy, to me, that just really enjoys being recruited. Like, every year there are a couple of guys like this where they just really love the recruitment process. They love to feel wanted. Everybody wants to feel wanted. I can't fault a guy like Harold Perkins for doing that. If I had the opportunity to be recruited by a bunch of big-name college football programs back when I was in high school, I would have taken advantage of it. I would have copped all the free stuff I could have possibly gotten. I would have taken every free visit I could have possibly taken. So I can't get too mad at Harold Perkins for enjoying the recruiting process, but that's what it feels like at this point. Like, he wants his name in the news. He wants people talking about him. And I think he wants to keep people guessing too. And my goodness, Harold Perkins has done that. This is one of the weirder recruitments this cycle, if not the weirdest recruitment of this cycle. Evan Stewart would have fit that mold as well. But of course, he signed with A&M. By all accounts, he's staying there. But this isn't quite Zach Evans level. I feel like a lot of you guys, if you follow recruiting, you remember the Zach Evans recruitment last year. This isn't quite that in terms of craziness, but it's getting up there for Harold Perkins. And look, I think Texas is still in the mix. Do I think he ultimately commits and signs with Texas? No. But would it stun me if he did? No, I don't think any decision he makes would stun anybody at this point. It's just one of those types of recruitments. So Harold Perkins is visiting LSU this weekend. I think that's his last official visit he can take. He recently went to Florida, maybe last weekend or 2 weeks ago. I can't remember exactly when it was. There was a belief that he was going to visit Miami this weekend, but that's not happening now. He's going to LSU. Like, apparently, I heard this from Jason Sukamel of Orange Blood, so I'll give him credit. He was like telling people that he was going to visit Miami with his last OV, and he, I guess, reneged on that and is going to LSU instead. So I don't know what the deal is with Harold Perkins. Once again, I don't think he's coming to Texas, but it wouldn't be the most shocking thing in the entire world if he does. Maybe he decides to commit back to A&M and sign with A&M at the end of the day. Maybe it's LSU, maybe it's Florida. I guess it feels like those three should be the top three for Perkins at this point, but I honestly have any idea. I'm not sure Perkins has any idea, let alone me or anybody else out there. So I think that's it, guys. I mean, that's, if I'm missing somebody, comment below. Who's the one guy I wanted to talk about? Who's the other guy that I wanted to bring up? Matthews. Corey Matthews. Corey Matthews. That's Boy Meets World, not Corey Matthews. Jacoby Matthews. There it is. Yeah, I don't think Corey Matthews is playing college football anytime soon. I feel like he's a little too old for that at this point, and I feel like from what I remember from the show, he didn't quite have the athleticism or attributes that I want in a safety in college football. Jacoby Matthews is the guy's name, 4-star safety from the state of Louisiana. Texas made his top 5 a couple of weeks ago. I don't think he's coming to Texas. I know a lot of Longhorn fans are curious about him, checking the message boards and the insider sites. He's a name that a lot of people are talking about. From what I've read, from who I've talked to, I would guess no for Jacoby Matthews. Would be nice. And look, we've gotten signing day surprises in the past. It happens. So maybe there's somebody I'm not talking about who ultimately will sign with Texas next week. Maybe it is Harold Perkins. Maybe it is Jacoby Matthews. Maybe it's somebody else that I didn't discuss in this video and that a lot of people out there aren't discussing. But right now, it feels like Davon Campbell is the guy to watch. We're on Davon Campbell watch between now and potentially next Thursday. Maybe even after that. The biggest fish still out there. Texas would love to have him. Everybody would love to have this guy, but he would once again be sort of the cherry on top for this incredible offensive line class that Sark and Kyle Flood have been able to put together. Give them some credit. They took advantage of all the coaching turnover around the country, and they were able to get some big fish up front to help out. And once again, quantity and quality is absolutely there. So give Sark and Kyle Flood credit for being able to close the door on a lot of these cats. Once again, getting Davon Campbell in here would be icing on the cake, if you will. Sorry if that gives you PTSD from the Charlie Strong days, Texas fans. I regret that. All right, I think that's going to do it for today's video. Appreciate the love. Please like this video. If you haven't yet, subscribe to this channel. If you haven't yet, comment below with your thoughts. Did I miss anybody? Who else should I be on the lookout for? Who else should we be on the lookout for? And also future video ideas, whatever you guys want to hear from me, please let me know. This channel is for y'all, so I do appreciate the continued love and support. I'll do a Texas basketball video later this week, previewing the Tennessee game. Of course, Rick Barnes coming to town this Saturday. If you missed the video, I'll put a link to it here in a second, but I did a live stream last night after the TCU win. Texas basketball looking really good in Fort Worth, a dominant performance against the Horny Toads, maybe the most complete performance from Texas this season. So love that. It's about to get real tough for Chris Beard and company in Austin. 5-game gauntlet coming up for the Longhorns that starts this week. And we'll do more football videos as we inch closer to National Signing Day. And of course, as we get closer and closer to spring ball as well. Quick shout out to today's video sponsor, laststandhats.com. This is not a laststandhats.com hat, but you should buy a hat from Last Stand Hats. I've got a bunch of them. I've worn them in previous videos. You guys know that. Use the discount code BK10 at checkout to get 10% off your purchase from laststandhats.com. All right, guys. Thanks again for the love and support. Until next time, y'all stay safe. Y'all stay healthy. And hook 'em.